There are three words that change everything inside a service center. Unsafe to drive. The moment those words are spoken, your body reacts before your brain does. Your shoulders tighten. Your stomach drops. The conversation instantly shifts from routine maintenance to potential danger. It doesn't matter if you came in for a basic oil change or tire rotation. Once you're told your vehicle isn't safe, logic gets pushed aside and protection mode takes over. And in 2026, this phrase is being used more strategically than ever. Before we break this down, I want you to think about your last service visit. What are you driving right now and how many miles are on it? If you're somewhere between 50,000 and 120,000 miles, this is exactly the window where this script hits hardest. And if you've ever felt that pressure inside a service lane where something suddenly became urgent, you already know the tone shift I'm talking about. If you've experienced that kind of pressure before, hit like so more drivers see this, and subscribe if you want to understand the psychology behind these service conversations before they happen to you again. The more people recognize the language, the less control it has. Here's how the unsafe to drive script typically unfolds. You're sitting in the waiting area. Everything feels normal. An advisor walks over, expression serious, voice slightly lowered. That shift in body language is intentional. The tone sets the stage before any technical details are discussed. You hear something like, "We found something concerning," followed quickly by, "I wouldn't feel comfortable letting my family drive this." That line is powerful because it personalizes fear. It's not just a mechanical issue anymore. It's framed as a risk to you and your family. Once that emotional image forms, the estimate that follows feels secondary. And that estimate is usually not small. $1,200, $1,000, $500, sometimes more. Now let's slow this down and separate emotion from mechanics. Number one, brake wear framed as immediate failure. Brakes are the most common entry point for this script. If pads are completely worn down to metal-on-metal contact, yes, that is unsafe. But what drivers are increasingly reporting in 2026 is being told their brakes are unsafe when measurements show 3 or 4 millimeters of pad remaining. 3 millimeters is worn, but it is not catastrophic. It means you are approaching replacement range. There is a difference between plan this soon and do not drive this vehicle home. That distinction often disappears once the word unsafe is introduced. Without clear explanation of minimum manufacturer thickness specifications, drivers assume immediate danger, and that assumption speeds up approval. Number two, suspension components described dramatically. Another common category is suspension wear. You may be told your control arm bushings are cracked, your shocks are leaking, or your ball joints have play. Those statements can be technically accurate. Rubber cracks over time. Minor shock seepage can occur long before ride quality is affected. The key question is severity. Is there excessive movement beyond manufacturer tolerance? Is steering unstable? Is the vehicle pulling dangerously? Many wear components degrade gradually over thousands of miles, not hours. But when described with phrases like compromised or unsafe at highway speeds, urgency increases even when symptoms are minimal. Number three, fluid seepage turned into emergency. A slight oil seep from a valve cover gasket is not the same as a rapidly dripping brake fluid leak, yet both can be labeled as leaks. Drivers are often told you have a fluid leak and it's unsafe without being given rate of loss context. I heard recently from someone with a 2018 Chevrolet Equinox at about 82,000 miles. She went in for a routine check and was told she had an unsafe engine oil leak that required immediate repair costing over $1,400. She was frightened because the word unsafe was repeated several times. After seeking a second opinion, it turned out to be minor gasket seepage with no active dripping and no safety risk. The repair was needed eventually, but it was not a same-day emergency. That's the pattern. Moderate wear framed as imminent failure. Number four, the liability language shift. Advisors in 2026 are increasingly using documentation phrasing like, "We have to mark this as unsafe on your inspection report." That sounds official. It feels serious. It subtly transfers responsibility to you. But documentation does not automatically equal danger. It means a recommendation was made and recorded. There is a huge difference between advisory documentation and mechanical collapse. When liability language is used before measurable thresholds are explained, emotional pressure increases dramatically. Number five, the worst case scenario visualization. This is where the script becomes especially effective. You may hear, if this fails while you're driving at highway speed, followed by a vivid description of loss of control or severe damage. That image stays with you. It bypasses rational analysis and activates fear-based decision-making. Preventative maintenance is real, it matters, but not every worn component is hours away from catastrophic failure. Many issues provide warning signs long before full breakdown occurs. When worst-case imagery replaces measured discussion, urgency becomes exaggerated. And here's why this tactic spreads. Labor rates are higher than ever. Parts costs have climbed significantly since 2023. Service centers track average repair orders closely. Higher approval rates directly impact revenue metrics. When urgency increases approval probability, urgency becomes part of the language. That does not mean every mechanic is dishonest. Many technicians genuinely want vehicles to be safe, but language shapes perception, and perception shapes decisions. Once you accept that your vehicle is unsafe, resistance drops. You stop asking about tolerance levels, you stop checking maintenance schedules, you approve. And that approval rarely stops with one line item, because if something is unsafe once, it opens the door to the next recommendation. That's where this conversation expands, and that's where invoices grow beyond what most drivers expected when they first walked in. Before we go deeper, let me ask you something different this time. Have you ever approved a repair and then later, maybe that night, replayed the conversation in your head and wondered if it was actually urgent? If that's ever happened to you, that's exactly why you need to be here. Subscribe so you understand these pressure patterns before they're used on you again. And if you've walked out of a shop feeling uneasy but unable to explain why, you're not crazy. There's structure behind that feeling. Let's keep pulling this apart. Number 6, the stacked safety expansion. Once the first unsafe item is approved, it opens the door to expanding the definition of unsafe. If your front brakes are worn, suddenly the rear brakes are close. If a control arm bushing is cracked, the other side is starting to show similar wear. If a shock is seeping, both should be replaced for balance. Now, sometimes that makes mechanical sense. Components do wear in pairs, but the timing is what matters. When the initial approval is driven by urgency, the secondary approvals piggyback on that urgency. And now what started as an $800 repair becomes $1,500 or more. The psychology is simple. Once you've accepted that the car was unsafe, you don't want to leave anything half done. Half done feels like gambling. Number 7, the highway scenario script. This is one of the most powerful persuasion tools used right now. The advisor paints a vivid picture. Imagine you're on the highway with your kids in the car and this fails. That sentence is designed to bypass logic. It doesn't matter how statistically unlikely the failure is in the next few hundred miles. The image is already planted. Preventative maintenance is wise. Ignoring serious issues is reckless. But the question is severity and time frame. Is failure imminent, or is wear progressing gradually over thousands of miles? Those are very different realities, and they rarely get separated clearly when fear enters the room. Number 8, the we can't let it leave pressure. Another version of this script I keep hearing about is, if it were my vehicle, I wouldn't let it leave like this. That statement feels protective. It sounds responsible. But it also removes your autonomy from the conversation. You're made to feel as if driving home is irresponsible. In reality, most wear-related issues progress slowly. If something is truly dangerous to the point of immediate failure, it should be accompanied by obvious symptoms. Severe grinding, extreme looseness, active fluid dripping, warning lights. Without those, the risk level often has more flexibility than the language suggests. I recently heard from someone with a 2016 Toyota Camry at just under 95,000 miles. She went in for a pre-trip inspection before a weekend drive. She was told her front lower control arm bushings were cracked and that it was unsafe to take it on the highway. The estimate came in at $1,750, including alignment and related labor. She felt cornered because the trip was 2 days away. After consulting another shop, she learned the bushings were worn but intact, and the vehicle was safe for short-term use with planned repair in the coming months. She still replaced them later, but on her timeline, not under panic. That's the difference between reactive repair and planned repair. Number 9, the metrics behind the curtain. Here's something most drivers don't realize. Service centers track average repair order value closely. Advisors are often evaluated based on performance metrics tied to approved dollars per visit. That doesn't automatically make someone dishonest, but it does shape how conversations are framed. If urgency increases approval rates, urgency becomes part of the vocabulary. Words like critical, unsafe, compromised, and severe start appearing more often, even when the actual condition may be moderate wear. Language becomes a tool. Now here's where you regain control. If you're ever told your vehicle is unsafe to drive, pause the conversation. Ask calmly, what measurement puts this outside manufacturer safety specification? If it's brake pads, ask for exact thickness in millimeters and what minimum spec is. If it's suspension, ask how much play was measured and what the acceptable range is. If it's a leak, ask whether fluid is actively dripping or simply seeping. Shifting the discussion to measurable thresholds forces clarity. Real safety failures have numbers behind them, they have specifications, they have tolerances. Vague danger does not. Also ask, what happens if I drive this for another 500 miles? If the answer changes from catastrophic to we recommend addressing it soon, you've just uncovered the difference between urgency and advisory. This isn't about avoiding necessary repairs, it's about controlling the timeline instead of being controlled by fear. Responsible maintenance protects your vehicle. Panic-based decisions protect revenue targets. And here's the final piece. Once you understand how powerful those three words are, you stop reacting automatically. Unsafe becomes a question, not a verdict. You evaluate symptoms, you verify measurements, you create space before approving, because space is what removes panic. The goal isn't to distrust every mechanic. The goal is to recognize when language is being used to accelerate a decision. When you slow the conversation down, you bring logic back into the room. And when you bring logic back, the invoice doesn't grow nearly as fast. If this helped you see that phrase differently, pay attention next time you hear it. Ask questions, get numbers, take a breath, and remember that urgency without measurement is just pressure dressed up as safety.